You have this message, you have that coming from here, and you have that coming from all over the world. And if the church is not up to speed on technology, we are not going to face the future with confidence. We are so used to screens now, the small screen, and you come to church and we're singing without an overhead, excuse me. When visitors come and they don't know our songs, they don't know our language, how are they going to sing along with us? Or they have to come a few weeks, a few months to learn our songs. You see what I'm saying? If we are not flowing with technology, we are not going to face the future with confidence. Number two, young people. If we don't understand young people, we have a problem. How many of you here are below 20? Hands up if you are below 20. Pastor, we have a problem here. We have a problem. Well, it could be that they're at school. It could be, there could be other reasons. Okay, but they need to be here. We need to see a majority of young people in the church. If we do not have young people in the church, we are missing out. And many of us here are probably going past the flower of our age. I'm about 60 now, so I belong to the past. If we are not handing the baton to young people, then we're in trouble. I want us to understand that the future is in the hands of young people. Not only the future, the present. And we need to understand their thinking, we need to understand their songs, we need to understand their language, we need to speak their language, and we need to be where they are. And we need to be scratching where it itches. I want to challenge every one of you here to adopt a young person and disciple them, mentor them. Many of them are looking for fathers. Many of them are looking for mothers. Many of them are looking for heroes, and they're getting heroes in the wrong place. Their heroes are not heroes of the faith. We need to provide heroes of the faith to these young people so that as they grow up, they're influenced in the things of God. I want to challenge you as a church to put as much as you can into children's church. I want to challenge you to put as much as you can into young people. If you have to skip on any program, don't let it be children's church or young people. It's got to be everywhere else, but not in those departments. Because the future of the church and the future of the nations is in the hands of young people. And understanding where young people are is absolutely critical if we're going to see the church, if we're going to face the future with confidence, if we have a generation of young people who are equipped and are ready to take over and take over the baton and run with this thing, then we do not have a future. The third thing that I want you to note particularly is the area of a business. The people who know their God will stand firm and do exploits. The area of business. Sorry, I'm a little unconventional. You expected me to spout theology and all of that, but I'm very practical. If you're going to face the future with confidence as a church, you need to understand business. I see a problem in the church. The church is a consumer and not a producer. A little while ago, I began to talk to the Lord and say, Lord, what is going on, particularly with the young churches that are coming up? How many of you know that some of them are so powerful financially that we are not able to compete with them? How many of you know that some of them are sponsoring government events or party events because they've got so much money? How many of you know that some of them will just load up 30 tonners and just go into a village and distribute food just for free? And yet we struggle to pay our pastors. The church is a consumer. We consume. We go to the saints and we say, give us money. And we don't even equip the saints to make that money so they can give it to us. By tinotokera futi. Don't pay some more. Give us more. We seem to be going more and more. And how many of you have noticed, pastors, that tithes are dropping? It's because, in many senses, the people of God are tired. Because all we seem to say is give, give, give. If we're going to face the future with confidence, we need to understand business. And we need to understand how to equip our people so that they are good earners. The church itself needs to be a producer and not a consumer. What will happen if somehow some of the tithes that we are given, has anybody ever thought in the eldership, has anybody ever thought to say, let's take some of the tithes and invest? Any conversation like that? In my church, it's not there. And there is no concept of let's invest so that there can be something for the future. One of the things that David left behind several things. That's why he was a man after God's heart. That's why the Bible says he served his generation by the will of God. I identified 5 things that David left behind when he died. I'm not going to talk about them. But one of the things that he left behind was abundant resources. Solomon didn't have to start from scratch. Because when David died, he had amassed a lot of wealth, which he gave for the construction of the temple. He leaves a vision that Solomon has to run with, and he leaves resources for which Solomon is going to use in order to run with the vision. Elders, when we die, what are we leaving behind in the church? In politics, when President Mugabe goes, what's he going to leave behind? What resources are we as leaders leaving behind for the next generation? I ask the question, what resources are you preparing for the next generation? That's all they're going to inherit. If we're going to face the future with confidence, we need to know that we have prepared resources for the next generation. That our children have somewhere to start. Our children are going to curse us when the Muslims, when others come and they have petrodollars and they can splash them around. I'm telling you, we are going to be renting from these guys, these foreigners. Do you know that? They're going to buy up buildings in town. They're going to do all sorts of things because we do not have a business mind. And in 5-10 years' time, we are going to be the borrowers and not the lenders. If we don't understand the economy, these guys, when they come, they will just take over the economy and we're going to be left streets behind. What are we doing in terms of business and preparing our people to understand the economy and where it's going? Right now, I know the economy is in shambles, but I want to tell you that the people of God aren't controlled by the economy. They are controlled by God's agenda. When I started this year, there were several projects in our church, our particular family of churches, several building projects that had been lying idle for many years. And I just said to myself, this is not going to happen. I said, this year we're going to do greater works than we've done before, regardless of the economy. And right now we are making progress. Foundations are being laid, buildings are coming up, because I'm saying this year is going to be the year of my biggest giving as a leader. And it's going to be the year when we are going to accomplish the greatest, accomplishments. I can't wait for November to celebrate the things that God will have done. Why? Because God's economy is different from our economy. But we need to understand how business works in order for us to be able to do that. Have you heard the leaders complaining about not having resources and so on? In the Reformed Church, you don't have a problem with money, right? No problems with money? Okay. If you're going to face the future with confidence, you need to understand business. Bible says in Deuteronomy 8:18, it's the Lord who gives power to make wealth. We want power to pray, we want power but please, can I ask you to also ask for power to make money? Can you add that in your agenda? Ask God to give you power to make money. Or am I speaking a foreign language? This church is not going to accomplish what it's supposed to accomplish without resources. You need resources. And if you're going to face the future with confidence, look, give me the money. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. A fourth thing that you need to understand and really come to terms with is politics. The future of Zimbabwe is uncertain in many ways, and if you as the people of God, if we as the people of God bury our heads in the sand and refuse to be involved in politics, then God have mercy on us. How many of you know that the air you breathe is political? Those of you who say we don't get involved, you're involved in politics already. The side of town you live is a political decision. The job you have is a political, somebody has decided. Hello? And so you look at the future. Some of us are afraid to talk about politics. No, stay out of politics. Let me tell you that we are in dire straits right now. If we don't understand what's happening politically, then we are going to be irrelevant as the people of God. Right now, the government isn't even thinking of consulting the church because we are irrelevant. And those of you who work for CIO, I want you to be very careful now. Please turn your tapes on. But here is where I'm getting to. Right now, when you look at the opposition in this country, we are in a total mess. Splintered in many directions. I know that some of you are in the opposition, so don't look at me with those eyes. If you look at the ruling party, ZANU-PF, we're in a mess. And I know that some of you are ZANU-PF here. Splintered in 1,000 directions. In fact, our leaders are so concerned about survival and succession that they've taken their eyes off leading the country. How many of you know that we have counselors who do not have secondary school education? Did you know that? And why? Some of you degree people are sitting here and you won't get into politics. You refuse to be involved. I'm not even talking about politics. I'm talking about local government, council, involvement and so on. Some of you refuse to get involved because politics is dirty. And consequently, we end up being led by uneducated people who have no clue what they're doing. Because the educated people are refusing to get involved. Too dirty, don't want to get involved. Unless we understand the political game that's happening in this country, we're not going to face the future with confidence. How many of you have a clear idea of what's going to happen next in this country? How many of you are studying events sufficiently to understand what's going on in order to pray with understanding? How are you going to do exploits if you have no idea what's going on? Do you understand the politics of this country and what's happening? Do you understand what's happening in ZANU-PF as the ruling party? Do you understand in what's happening in the opposition? Are you able to pray effectively into what's going on? Where are we going as a nation? Are we going to have elections next year or not? And if we do have elections, what kind of elections are we going to have next year? Are we going to go through another bloodbath as we did in 2008? Where is our economy going right now? There's conversations about reintroducing some local currency. How many of you read that? Oh, you're looking at me as if to say, where has he come from? He was all right until, a few minutes ago when he started. That's facing the future with confidence. Understanding what's happening around us and getting involved. I'm not saying that the Reformed Church must, the pastors, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But you as citizens of this country must understand what's going on. And you must get involved. Get involved at local level, get involved in your school committees, get involved at those levels. We are so spiritual, we are not earthly good. We're so heavenly minded, we are not earthly good. If we could take some of this salt and some of this light and take it into these communities, you'd be amazed at who would be elected to office. You guys are trained. You guys understand leadership. You are not going there to line your pockets. You are going there to serve. You understand servant leadership because you've been trained. And if you were to go into the community and start serving, you're going to take over the leadership.